Hey guys, Juan here. Today I'm gonna speak about the problems with Tableau and Power BI. And now some of the things that I'm gonna say, chances are massive that they also affect your tool of choice. But those are the two tools I feel the most comfortable with, so are the only ones that I'm gonna name as direct examples. Let me tell you a story. Back in 2017, I was building a dashboard for one of my clients. And this dashboard was, you could say, very technically complex. Now, nothing of what they wanted seemed like unnecessary or just complex for the sake of being complex. I felt all of the complexity they required was pretty much justified in what they were trying to accomplish. What happened with this project is it became every time more and more and more and more difficult to maintain things. The maintainability was just crazy. Up to the point where every time we wanted to push any changes to the main dashboard in the production environment, we created a checklist of items, and it would take us like 15 minutes to go through the whole checklist and make sure that everything was correct before we would push it. Now, in the case of maybe Tableau or Power BI, you have that experience that sometimes you do some change here and some other things break in another place, and becoming really good is all about knowing which things are going to break when you do something else. If you need an example, for example, in Tableau, when you change data sources, your colors, your shapes, they just tend to break because that's safe in the metadata of the data source. And now it really doesn't matter what exactly it is. The point is, the moment that those tools, in this case I can speak fully about Power BI and Tableau, the moment that complexity becomes too big, it's a bit of a nightmare. And then to keep this story going, I went on holidays for a couple of weeks. When I came back, I noticed that there was somebody doing some changes and everything was completely broken, and it took me ages to find out what exactly was the things that changed. I had to go every single calculation inside of it, every single thing, every container, everything, just to check what exactly broke. That wasn't really a very pleasant experience. At that point, I used to think, well, it's just a matter of just becoming even better at your dashboarding tool, like becoming even better at Tableau or even better at Power BI to be able to make very complex things. With time, I find out that, well, in the world of programmers, and especially if you have the chance to check somebody doing DevOps work, they have a lot of ways to circumvent these problems. For example, they have a way in which you can tell, please only commit my code if these tests are being met. They have version control such that they can revert changes, and more importantly, they know who changed what when and what was the exact difference. They have very easy ways to work with test, production, and development environments, however you want to call them. They have ways to see where a data source is coming from to monitor everything from like the servers to the processes to the data that is everywhere. In short is, if you see a team of DevOps, those guys have a lot of security features to make the life of the developers a lot nicer. Where am I going with this? Well, simple. I could just argue at this moment, hey, if you have something that is very complex, it's not that you're going to become better at Tableau and Power BI so you're able to execute it. I could simply argue, please do it somewhere else. Please write your code, your formulas somewhere in a SQL view, use dbt, whatever. Try to avoid doing stuff in these dashboarding tools. But that's not what I really want to convey. What I want to convey is we are very lucky, at least I'm very happy that we live in a time where Tableau and Power BI are constantly chasing each other to become the best solution they can be. And every month, 2 months, 3 months, whatever it is, they come with some amazing features, and then some months later, the other tool copies them, and The growth that any of these tools have throughout a year is exponential, and that's amazing for us. But while Tableau and Power BI are constantly fighting over who gets to be the shiniest and fastest car, developers like me, or well, drivers in this analogy, are asking for seatbelts, are asking for airbags. My call here is, I know Power BI is working on development pipelines which integrate test and dev environments, and Tableau released also some years ago the data management add-on, and there have been some steps in that direction, but my message is very simple and clear. I just want that every single thing that DevOps and programmers take for granted, I would love if mainstream dashboarding tools will integrate some of those principles so that we can professionalize the way that we deliver work. I am personally tired of fragile ways of working, of looking incompetent because something broke that I wasn't expecting, and for me to take forever to check every single formula to see which are the ones that need repair, which are the slow ones. I hope you recognized whatever I was saying in this video. If you did, please let me know. And more videos like this coming. So thanks for watching, guys.